Hi, good evening. Let's start with this session. And uh, your take, Himanshu. So, what you have to say about the level of difficulty of the exam? Verbal section, bull mock at 28. Ishan and Himanshu. And what did you score in this bull mock at 28 verbal section? Your percentile, I'm asking. Am I audible, Ishan, Himanshu? Hemant has also joined. Good evening, Hemant. Okay, so you want to reveal your percentile because you scored 99.99 percentile. No issues. So let's move ahead with this analysis. I have picked a few questions, but before moving further, let us discuss the difficulty levels spread throughout in this. Himanshu 93, very good. Keep it up. You're just 3 or 4 questions away from 96, 97, and precisely 6 questions away from 99. And you have to select pick up the questions from your strong area to score to reach 99.99. All the best, Himanshu. And coming on to the level of difficulty, number of questions. Paper had 6 easy questions and 28 moderate questions. So no difficult question this time, 6 easy and 28 moderate, but moderate can become very difficult if you are not able to understand the question, or I'm not clear with the choices, so I'm stuck between the choices. So moderate paper tricky. In this, I can term this paper as moderate to tough in terms of perception, because moderate questions seem to be very tempting at the start, but when you start solving them, then we feel that we are trapped. So that's how story goes. Ishan, nothing to worry about. 1 question away from 90 percentile, and probably 7 to 8 questions from your dream college, and 9 question away from giving or becoming autograph giving celebrity. So work hard, Ishan. You're almost there, and you really need to pick up the pace questions from your strong area. And if your verbal is strong, then fine. If it is not, then you need to brush up a few of the things. All the best, Ishan. And let's move ahead. What we have? Okay, Varunpreet Kaur has joined the session. Welcome, Varunpreet Kaur. So the first question which I picked up is based on para completion. Let us recap para completion. Para completion means the last line is deleted and we have to find out the last line. And the topic is kind of dicey, and because we have to guess someone else's thought, it's not easy. Science even doesn't have any apparatus to gauge anybody's thought, but still we have got 3 or 4 tricks. First of all, let us decide what can be the answer option to this particular question. So answer can either be conclusion or logical extension of second last line. So read the question, scan the choices to figure out whether the question is conclusion based or extension based. If it is conclusion, then conclusion should always, without any exception, should cover the main idea of the passage. And what is main idea? Which author is trying to convince us? Examples cannot be the main idea. So keep this in mind whenever you're solving para completion questions. Generally, in order to make you sentimental, we give you the choice which is based on one of the examples in the passage, given passage. So do not pick up the choice as conclusion, because conclusion should never include examples. It has to include the main idea or the point which is trying to put across. If it is not conclusion based, then it has to be extension based. Now what we are supposed to extend? We are supposed to extend the second last line, because last line we have to find out the passage questions last line is actually second last line. So if you have to find out the logical extension of second last line, then it has to be, then we just need to focus on second last line. Whether it is a conclusion based or extension based, we need to take care of 3 very important things. 1, the tone of the passage. 2nd, the style of writing. And 3rd, few keywords. So this is the few of the things that we should keep in mind while solving para completion question. So did you get this question correct? Varun, Ishan, Himanshu, and I am the system. Ishan left the session, Ishan joined the session. Okay, so network problem, then go for an idea. Okay, let's go back to the question. The keywords. So the question is very funny, at the same time interesting also. It talks about one camera fitted. No, not camera fitted, that is something else. It is about exploring the beauty around you, around the world, and analyzing what exactly is there. So, and the question I am reading for you. So I have always felt that beauty of being surrounded by a foreign is that it slaps you awake. It keeps you awake. Slap should not be taken in literal sense. You cannot take anything for granted. Very important line, because travel for me is saying little bit like being in love, because suddenly all your senses are at setting marked on. Now on, yes, kept under inverted commas, can be taken can take so many meanings. Right now we cannot discuss this on web space. So suddenly you are alert, secret patterns of the world. The real voyage of discovery, now this is the main point. The real discovery, as Marcel Proust famously said, consists of not seeing new sights. Not seeing new means we see the same things, but with probably different outlook, and in looking with new eyes. New eyes means suddenly you are awake because you are exploring something, you are overwhelmed by the beauty of the surroundings, etc., etc. So if you have understood the main idea, means we are looking at the old things, but with totally new insight, or probably new outlook, perception. That's how it goes, the paragraph. So let's see, if it is to be conclusion based, then we should include point 1 and the last point and 1 in between, that suddenly your senses are on when you are saying something very, very beautiful. Okay, so guys, what do you have to say about Himanshu 4? Yes, it is 4. So got this question correct. And of course, once you have new eyes, even old sight, new eyes means it's not biologically speaking new eyes, it is way of looking at the things. Even the old sight, even your home becomes something different. That is logical extension of the second last line. It was not conclusion based, it is something extension. The last line saying that you will see something different. The same thing will look different if you explore something with this particular outlook. So what's the problem with the rest of the end choices? It says that first say that, and then with a new perspective the new sites appear. We're not talking about the new sites, technically wrong. First gone. Second, movement is fantastic privilege, fine. It allows us to do much that our grandparents could. There is no mention of this, so cannot even conclude or extend. Third, and home in the end, of course, just not the place where you sleep, it is a place where you stand. Way out of track, nothing to do with the question, just to make you sentimental. We framed this choice third. So answer to this question is 4. You all are born genius. Let's move ahead. Now this paragraph, little boring paragraph. Now in this particular paper exam, I saw that paragraphs were moderate in length, not very lengthy, very condensed in meaning, and very inferential at the same time. So out of 4 given passages, I think 3 were very, very tricky in terms of understanding, in terms of even framing questions by the examiner. And this paragraph talks about communication primarily. Now how we try to confuse you, let us look at this. Let us try to get into the insight of an examiner's mind. So generally, now look at the cleverness shown by us. It says conversation between producer and consumer typically takes place around particular objects. These objects are often but not always the focus of conversation among technical experts, as the concepts car developed by leading automakers. Now person will think that we are talking about, the author will talk about concept cars or something new, innovation or something. Primarily it moves around communication. Conversation is one of the aspects of communication. It's not the entire thing in totality. Now it talks about very first paragraph. You will understand that you will think that it's something to do with concept cars, conversation, discussion, innovation, creativity, etc. Then in second paragraph, because of the way in which conversation are focused on particular object and practices, because they are in exploration of different views of what is essentially the same situation. Now we include, will bring in the new word interpretation. Now interpretation is an open-minded one of the. Now this is in idea line. The first paragraph consisted of only examples, so nothing much you will get out of the first paragraph from question point of view even. So first is to, if I look at writer's point of view, then writer is making ground to highlight the importance or to showcase the difference between interpretation and conversation or communication, one of the aspects, or debate probably. And he has picked up the example of concept car. During auto shows, consumers and the producers will sit across or stand across and discuss so many things. Now where I'm moving my cursor, the key to understanding the difference between analysis and interpretation lies in the very different views of what is involved in human communication. Now this is the main thing that we wanted to focus on in this passage, the difference between analysis and interpretation. So that's how we story goes, and that's how we try to juggle your mind or brain while reading, while you read RCs. So moral of the story is that need not to worry about examples or facts too much in the passage. Focus on the ideas or the opinions. Now let us look at the architecture of framing questions. From facts generally will make inference based questions, very important, 3 or 4 tips. From opinions or ideas given in the passage by the author will frame central idea. From the examples given or the data given to support or disapprove the main idea, we will frame questions like all of the following are true except, or all of the following are wrong except. Now except questions are called direct questions. This is to check your retention or the architecture sustaining ability. These are easier to handle. So facts about inferences, the facts are important. Opinions, from opinions or ideas presented in the passage or idea lines, we frame idea based question, that is the tone and the central idea we pick up from his opinions. And if I talk about direct questions, or all of the following are true except one, except vice versa, examples are important. So 3 things are very important, no doubt. The most important aspect in any RC is the set of ideas presented by the author, and out of the all ideas, some would be major, some would be minor, and the best is called the main idea. Now looking at the main idea from examiner, from test taker, from your point of view, from Trick's point of view, main idea is the idea which is present throughout and it runs throughout. So my idea of picking up this passage was only this, because otherwise we already have solved this paper. So it talks about the basic differences, says that analysis is something very limited and interpretation is very open-minded. Analysis, you will try to restrict your mind around certain parameters, and interpretation can be done in n number of ways. That probably one of his major inference drawn. So it talks about innovation, no doubt. So he gives importance to interpretation rather than analysis. So more often than not, the messages are ambiguous. How people work through ambiguity and together construct meaning in the space created by the rules and vocabulary process of interpretation. So it talks about in interpretation, need not to worry about grammar, vocabulary, or set of rules. So one last point he has given, that it is some kind of Morse code signal. When we talk about conversation or description or analysis, but interpretation is actually very open-minded process and can lead to n number of offshoots, and it leads us to focus what actually is going on in those spaces when interpretative conversation take place. So making spaces is kind of Morse code, and something which is happening, how to create these interpretation. So let us look at the questions. Now, what is the basic difference between Morse and the open model of linguistics? Linguistics means study of languages. So you need to, Morse code is something very specific. We need to follow, we can't move out of the rules. We have to move around the rules or the coded language. An open model of linguistics, now open is very clear hint given to us, and it is something, things can be accommodated. So pick up your choice, guys. While reading the passage, even I could have done this without even, because I know about Morse code also, and I know about linguistics also a little. So without even reading the passage, I could have answered this question. 72nd. So when you remain, let us talk about interpretation versus comprehension. Comprehension is understanding, and if you know the thing, then you can understand. Interpretation is no doubt a very open ended thing. So second half, first half. So Morse code is very specific. Comprehension cannot be, may or may not be specific. Interpretation versus adherence. Adherence has nothing to do with, yes, Ishan, Varun, Preet, Himanshu, absolutely fine. You all are literal versus, now literal is very strong word. Literal means we have to understand the same sense which is represented by the word. So it has to be literal versus collaboration. Absolutely fine. Let's wait for 29th November 2015, and you will have your dream college in your lap. 73rd. What can be the viewed as essential lubricant in the engine of ideation? So first of all, we should know the meaning of the ideation. Ideation is process of generating ideas. It's called engine of ideation. Lubricant means anything that will facilitate or will accelerate or will catalyze the process of thinking or idea generation, as per the passage. Now he has given very much importance to it is rigidity cannot act as lubricant because it will stop the process of ideation. Scrutiny again will not help in generating ideas, it kind of block it. Third and fourth gone. Answer could be either first or second. Conversation analysis would generate, but again conversation would be will be on certain lines. Analysis definitely would be on certain lines, so analysis will not able to generate ideas as such. As per the passage, it says the ambiguity. When you are not clear, interpretation means anybody can interpret anything in any n number of ways. So ambiguity as per the passage. So ambiguity would imply here in this case that in ambiguity the things are pretty open, and since things are not clear, therefore it would be open to many ideas. That's why. Conversation definitely can make out any conversation will not probably help in this case, because conversation or something cannot be ambiguous, and he has stressed on ambiguity in the passage. Therefore first is the right answer in this case. This one may or may not lead to generation of ideas always. Am I correct, guys? Now we have reached 6. So who joined now? Arushi, Sahil, Ishan, Hemant, Himanshu. Okay. Am I clear, guys? Just press yes if you are clear with this. So look at the line also. I can show you the line, or you can see this particular line yourself, where he has used the word ambiguity and has highlighted the importance of even ambiguity also. Now this is sentence completion or fill in the blanks question. Read this, take your time, give me the answer. If your answer is fine, then I'll tell you one or two things related to this. Just rush through. So it says that Disney was strikingly dash about the costs in a September 23 letter to Roy and Iwix. We don't know what will come till here. A little bit of help is from the word strikingly, something positive. So why should we let our few little dollars dash? We don't know what will come. Our chances. The ultimate key line is we can lick them all with quality. We can lick them all. We can defeat. We can make them. We can make them buckle under pressure or from our quality products. We can defeat them with the quality of our products. Yes. So Ishan, Himanshu, Arushi, do we know the meaning of cavalier? The question is, Disney was strikingly bold about the costs in letter. Why should let a few dollars dash destroy our chances? We can lick them all with the quality. We can make them. We can win this. We can defeat them. Judicious is fine. Yeah. Judicious, jeopardize means destroy, and bold will relate it to cavalier. No doubt judicious is going fine with the first blank, but it cannot be ameliorate. Ameliorate means lessen the impact of anything. Its opposite is aggravate, is to increase the problem. Ameliorate is to lessen the problem. So second will not go. So strikingly bold, courageous, confident about. Fine, the best would have been judicious and jeopardize. But here we are commenting on something. You are showing extra confidence, not over but extra confidence about the quality produced by you. That's why. Cavalier doesn't imply that person is not serious or cautious. Chivalry means bold, courageous. There's no point. Arushi, this is one of the connotation that when you are not cautious or serious, cavalry means having courage, showing boldness. One of the connotations. So distraught. If I look at the fourth choice, strikingly upset, gone. This is gone. Strikingly perturbed, this is also gone because there cannot be, if I look at the last line, we can lick them all with quality. So they should not be disturbed about or distraught about. So we are left with only 1 and 2. Second word will not go. Second option, second word is not fitting well here. So we are left with only one option. If your vocabulary is fine, you can do just looking at the words and we can pick up the right option. Now again, very condensed paragraph RC. It talks about science often traffics in doubt and really welcome revisions. Now if I look at this line, this passage, now this can be termed as ideal line. So always while reading the passage, you should be very clear about what are the ideas presented, what are the facts he has given or facts he is giving, author, and the examples he has given or is giving. So facts can lead to inference, opinions, opinionated statements, ideas and tone, and examples, direct questions. That's how the architecture of any RC is planned. It cannot be Ishan, repeat question number 76. Question number 76. Question number 76 right now I haven't kept here, but 76 is I think based on parajumble, and 76 is the problem with 76 I think was to find an opener. Now if I look at the choices, in every choice you will find C is an opener. Are you asking about the 76 parajumble based question, Ishan? Press yes if yes. Ishan, are you asking 76 parajumble sentence arrangement based question? Okay, question 75. Disney was strikingly means very positively confident about the cost in a September 25 letter to Roy and Iwix. Why should we let a few dollars dash our chances? Means if you look at the context, if you understand business a little, so the cost Disney initially the cost factor the cost went through the roof while making Disney movies, etc. So he was afraid that people will not support distributors or financiers will not finance his particular move or the idea. But he was so confident about his quality of the work that he promised himself that few dollars, just lack of few dollars or devoid of any kind of deprivation will not allow any deprivation to ruin his chances of getting success. So in this case, third and fourth, because of the words gone, perturbed disturbed, strikingly disturbed about the cost. So we can lick them all. This is actually the key line here. Lick them all with the quality means we can make them bow or buckle down under pressure from the quality product shown by or given by us. Distraught is extremely upset. So these two negative words cannot fit in. Third and fourth choice rejected. Left with only first and second. Second option, second word, again way out of track. Ameliorate means lessen the quality of something, lessen the impact of something, will not go. So cavalier and jeopardize. Am I clear, Ishan? That's how we go. So the moral of the story is that while solving sentence completion question, you need to pick up the keywords, key lines, and probably it's a vocab driven question, and I will assume that you are still working on your vocabulary, and keep working till you take real cat. Still we have got 20 days in this month, and probably again 25 days in, still 45 days to go. So keep working on your RCs especially and vocabulary. These two are very very important. Okay guys, shall we move ahead? So Bhavya has just joined in. It's evening time. Okay. So again, very very condensed and inferential paragraph. Science often traffics in doubt. Now this is can be termed as the very first line is called idea line. And there are precisely the attributes that make it deserving for our confidence. Again, idea line. It is just those system of thought that would have us believe that they know the answer certainly because they have been received or honoring supreme being, etc., etc. So secondary idea line. Then creation of myth, Old Testament, universe created, no doubt, cosmology, all examples. So cannot be the main idea. But this strategy of skepticism can be abused or misinterpreted in a dangerous way that treacherously undermine the validity of scientific knowledge. Now, another idea presented by the author is that this doubtfulness shown by scientists or science itself can be misused and misinterpreted in a very very dangerous way. Treacherously is again dangerously or betrayingly undermine the validity of scientific knowledge. So how come it can undermine the importance, validity of science? Because it says that certitude, then this open door for all charlatans. So guys, do we know the meaning of word charlatans? So what is the meaning of the word charlatan? Just type if you know. Right now you also have Google, your cell phone. Charlatans. Are you able to recall the meaning of charlatans, guys? If you take time, then you are going through your Google's dictionary. Charlatans means con men or people who deceive, fraudsters, tricksters. So who deceive others, who aren't happy with their existence. The evidence is clearly pointing. So point is that this can be misused by, abused by con men or what we call so-called spiritual gurus, etc. I'm not blaming anyone especially, but I'm talking about so-called fraudsters, tricksters, those who misuse this interpretation, because science is open to revision and open to skepticism shown by science itself, scientists themselves, and the society even. In case, as per the passage, so it says that why we are, why do we behave like this? It says that a person falsely claiming. Yes, Sahil. So Sahil has joined in. Sahil, very good evening. You are Sahil Jain or Bullseye student or online student? Okay, Sahil, online. So it says that our brains are not wired. Our brain is not structured in a way so that it can understand any kind of ambiguity. Now, whenever we draw cube, we all are aware of this popular visual illusion. The Necker cube is line is drawing three-dimensional cube. Sometimes it would appear that it is coming towards us and sometimes moving away from us. Had young woman, old hag, young woman, etc. etc. Means mind is not wired. Wired means made, structured, designed to understand ambiguity. Now he has given. Let us take the case of. Now case is an example again. So should not be included in main idea question. Climate change, etc. again. So he has given the example that if any uncertainty is shown by the science, then it is the positive nature of the science, or it is one of the qualities, one of the attributes of this particular field of study. It is not the drawback. But therefore he said that it would be downright stupid to let the current uncertainty about the science determines to stop us from taking any action to reduce global warming, because we have different viewpoints from different sectors or directions, and all are from scientific, let's say, background. Then this should not confuse us. So the last paragraph is very important. So keep this in mind while reading any RC. The first line of any RC and the last line of any paragraph, sorry, is very important. These two lines are very important, and because first line will definitely introduce us the mood or the topic given by the author, and the last line of any paragraph will form the connection with the next one, and the very first line, very first word will tell us whether this second paragraph is in line with the first paragraph or is going against the first paragraph. If I have however, but, etc. So first line of any paragraph and the last line of the paragraph is very important, because connectivity is formed from these lines. And three things should be kept in mind while reading any RC: the ideas line, idea lines, example lines, and the factual lines. Three things are important, and need to practice a lot. Again, RC, if I talk about CAT or Z, these two top level exams, these two are only RC or understanding driven. More you practice, more you'll be comfortable. If I talk about other non-CAT exams like NMAT, SNAP, NMAT has started. So any of you has taken this NMAT, guys? How many of you took, or any one of you have? So have you taken NMAT? Anyone of you? Okay, bye-bye. Oh, Vinayak. Okay, 8th has also joined in. Good evening, Vinayak. You are Siddhi Vinayak, your Lord Ganesha. You will never face any problem. So are you from Mumbai? Maharashtra? Seems to be. So where are you from? Indore. Okay. It's again nice place. You are very near to, I think, your dream college. Do you love? If you get this admission here, IIMS Indore, you can simply go even without taking this exam. It's your birthright. You belong to Indore. Okay, jokes apart, coming back to definitely will go there, and with all your hard work and blessings from Lord Ganesha, you will able to sail through. So coming on to this, the last line is very important. Last line is very important. Few things, last paragraph is very important. So I picked up this passage. It's not because in this just 45 minutes analysis I cannot solve the entire paper and we cannot understand all the RCs. I picked up, I solve, I read few lines for you just to make you understand, to share certain tricks with you. Okay guys, let's see the question which we have picked up. The purpose of the last paragraph. Now I'll go through the last paragraph. You also go through. Just in case anyone reading this think that I am making a political case against right-wing political operatives. Right-wing means very fundamentalist political parties in India. BJP can be termed as right-wing. Left-wingers, communist, labor-oriented, Marxist philosophy following party, and those who are very liberal in their views, they are called center parties. Congress can be termed as center party. So I can readily make some argument against those who have left, those on left also, who seek to block the research, production of genetically modified crops. Again, is giving his opinion, which have potential to feed millions of starving people by using specious argument about science being incomplete. Partisans are welcome. Partisans means very biased and dogmatic people are welcome to argue the various sides of those issues, but they are being deceitful, means they'll deceive themselves and us also when they use researchers' expression of honest doubt over particular debate. Now this is a very important line. Now if the researcher is doubting and showing very honest apprehensions about particular detail on about any particular subject, it doesn't mean that science is unreliable. Now we have been asked the purpose of the last paragraph. Skepticism or honest intentions regarding doubts on anything shown by any scientist or group of scientists or science itself doesn't mean that science is unreliable, is the inference or conclusion coming out of this paragraph. Now let's see. The purpose of the last paragraph is so if you are not able to find any proof of your innocence will not make you guilty. Do you find any choice resonating with this particular idea? Absolutely fine. Yeah, inability means when they are casting doubt themselves, it doesn't mean that they are wrong or science is wrong, and probably they are showing the honest apprehensions or doubts regarding probably that still they are not able to reach the right conclusion. Change. Now I'll read the first. Change the perception that science is always right. Science itself doesn't claim that it is always right. Scientists even show doubt or apprehensions, so always wrong word, rejected. Such as science can be doubted. He is totally against this particular notion, rejected. Doubts expressed the scientist generates skepticism among masses. It may or may not, nothing to do with the question asked. It's not the purpose of the last paragraph actually. Now, in the context of the passage, fill in the blanks. Dash is the victory in science, and that is precisely what makes it so powerful. Let us look at this one. Certitude is conviction. Conviction is with certainty. The victory in science. If anything is certain, then there's no point in doing science or applying science over that thing. Sun sets in the west. It's fine. There's no point in researching over this. Lucidity is clearly expressed. Now the very close choice fight is between ambiguity and revision. Now ambiguity is a victory of science, cannot be termed as science is open to go. Yeah, absolutely fine. It is third. If I very first word, science often traffics in doubt but readily welcomes revision. So revision is fine, and revision can be termed that if anything is wrong or till now the research says something. So answer would be revision. Very first line we picked up. So moral of the story is again few of the morals that first line and the last line of any paragraph of any RC is very important. No doubt facts are important for inference based questions. Examples are important for true false type question, direct questions, and opinionated lines important for tone and central idea based questions. Now this is again third paragraph. It is about ununiform spread of the wealth across, and it says that if wealth is not spread evenly, there's no point in boasting that we have developed ourselves or our economy is developed or something. So question number 77, Arushi. 77. Arushi, it is third choice. Suggests that inability, the purpose of last paragraph, it says that, last paragraph says that, it will suggest that science is unreliable. But they are being deceitful when they use researcher hypothesis. They means charlatans or other people, those who use this particular honest intention about the science, casting doubt over itself by trickster is not welcome. That's why answer to this question was third. Suggests that inability to find evidence doesn't make the defendant guilty. If scientists are saying that till now they haven't been able to find the right answer, or still there are certain doubts, it doesn't mean that they are wrong or science is wrong. They are open to revision as per the passage. So it says that even many business leaders are not convinced if wealth is not spread, all wealth is endangered. Some meeting was going on, Kofi Annan, ex-general secretary of UN. So it says that the most obvious failure of globalization has been incapacity to maintain employment. Here now one of the facts given by this is idea given by this Kofi Annan, and to support his point he will give us examples. All these are 80s, 90s, etc. All these are examples. Nothing to worry about the examples. Whenever any question is based on example, we can come on to the examples and again reread them. But again read them, and probably we should be very much careful about the facts and opinion lines. Why no question being asked about the vaporization of the new wealth that women have brought to the economy? Now this is a question raised by the author. He is asking. Now I'll try to answer this. So this is one of the ideas line, probably main ideas line. Then is explaining that how come we missed this particular part of our economy, the women's contribution. It says that last line, the real wealth contributed by the woman has somehow been inflated away, while great deal new paper wealth has been created in such areas as money markets and mergers. So Kofi and the author says that people are economy or the business world is worried about money markets and mergers, but they have forgotten and they are not able to give due importance to the wealth generated by the women. Now in the last paragraph it talks about the reason why is inflating away of the real wealth created by women a result of reducing the central societal participation to mere economic logic with its utilitarian limitations. So what is the reason he's trying to find out? Was exacerbated means aggravated, increased by the absence of counterbalancing international treaties like taxation, work conditions, myriad legal obligation, environment. Means we are so involved in other such areas. No doubt these areas are very important, but we are neglecting this other side of the human beings, society, the women contribution made by the women. So it says that first it produces destructive, then it backfires or explodes in some unexpected. So it says that the short answer is, at least in part, is probably yes. Imbalance in public affairs will almost always rebound in two stages. First, it produces destructive situations if it is not managed properly, and then it backfires or explodes in some unexpected way. It's called collapse of globalization, reinvention of the world. Somewhere from this book we took this paragraph. So I picked up this question just to make you understand the tone word. So what is the tone of the passage? Throughout the passage, author is criticizing globalization. And if you look at the title of the book also, from where we took this paragraph, the tone was absolutely clear. It is about fall and collapse of globalization, inevitable collapse or something like this. So author is not at all praising, he is actually scanning, analyzing the reason behind the collapse. So whenever you're doing some sort of this work, probably not be praising. So commendatory would strictly go out of track. It is, we are not praising. Authoritative, had the authoritative means whenever author has strong hold over the topic. Generally you will find this in science or technology passages, where author would use what we call technically a specific word like jargons, what we call jargons. So authoritative gone. Flippant is casual. He's not at all casual. He's very precise, because he has picked up quite a few solid concrete example to prove his point, but is dead against mindless globalization and running after very abstract ideas like merger acquisition, economic model or utilitarian model, rather than the human form, human side of the globalization. So author is criticizing, is very harsh, his tone is very insulting, is not at all supporting this. So the best would have been, yes guys, acerbic. Authoritative would be the case when he's trying to make us understand something, and you would use very technical vocabulary, jargon, and this would be something kind of OHT or overhead transmission. You will find these passages, authoritative passages, very difficult. Okay, let's move ahead. What can be the critique of the argument that women entering the workforce have not contributed to the more wealth? Critique means either you have to analyze something in a very balanced way. Means we need to include the positive point also, negative point also, and we need to find out the balanced approach. If something is wrong, then say it is wrong, and if something is right, say it is right. It's the job of the critics, and critique is the writing. What they write is called critique. QUE is writing part, and IC ending are the people who write QE word ending words. So this can be answered even without reading the passage if you understand the meaning of the word critique. So critique of the argument that women entering the workforce have not contributed to the more wealth. Critique would be, means you need to support the or you need to weaken the argument. That is called critique. So I think fourth, yes, we have much bigger higher standards. One of the paragraphs in the passage, he would say that now the economy has moved over to double income. Earlier it was in 60s it was single income families. Most of the families were based on surviving on single income. Now it has moved on to double income. So it is fourth. Great guys, you are all going great. Very serious. Now in this we have to find out the misfit one. Again very lengthy sentences. Will not have patience or probably mood to read or go through these sentences. But why I picked up this question, just to revisit or recap the things we discussed while solving misfit questions. Now do not keep para completion sentence rearrangement tricks in mind while solving this question or misfit types questions. Keep in mind that the very important trick is we need to group the sentences as per the theme in these sentences. One of the sentences would lie a little outside the theme in rest of the three sentences. It is not that one would be something all red plus one black, so one black can easily be found out and we'll take this one out. It's not like that. It is something to do with the theme, but in a very far-fetched way. So that's why sometimes students find this particular type very difficult and they get most of the time these questions wrong. So if you're again every time you're getting, so try to change your strategy. Try to link the sentences with the help of theme in them. Theme means the essence, what they're trying to convey, portray, not the keywords alone or the SR sentence rearrangement tricks. In sentence rearrangement tricks will teach you excuse me, that this is an opener, this is a conclusion, and this is how we track mandatory pairs. Not necessarily all the tricks are applicable in misfit questions also. So it has to be something to do with linking themes. So okay, it is 86 is 4 to 1. So 4, 2 and 1 can be linked because they are talking about deceleration. And 2 is talking about the impact. 4 to 1 can be linked in this. 4 is talking about, yeah, third is odd, Arushi. Okay guys, you already have solved this. I think this was the last passage. It is about stylization underlying all existing writing system. Now it talked about orthography, means how come different styles or how writing developed or evolved into something, one of the ways of communications, and he has given very few examples, or quite a few examples, that how come pictography, then from sound, then from abstract idea, then from this and that things, the language or the writing developed. So he has given the example of Egyptians and Sumerians. All these are examples. So we just need to focus on ideas line. Now let's try to figure out what is the purpose of using. Now it says that few of the civilization even tried converting sound into words, but this method was again filled with flaws, and other systems also. So nowadays in modern world, where the language we use or the words we use, they are kind of mixture of some total of all these developments, and finally we came at this refinement. So it would be two in the knee fish hunt. Guys, even without reading the passage, we can answer this question. That's why I picked up this question. So in any paper, generally I tell my students how to even solve 3 or 4, 5 or 6 questions without reading too much. And most of you are only 3 to 4 questions, 5 to 6 or 7 to 8 questions away from your dream college or dream salary. Okay, so it would be very difficult for us to understand it would be two in knee fish hunt. So pick up the choice where we are saying that sounds are not helpful enough to understand the language. Pick up the choice. It is again to serve an example. It's an example. First of all, look at the choices where you will find example. So I would find example in this first choice or in 3. Answer could be either 1 or 3. Now first says to present example how homographs create confusion and understanding. So there are no homographs actually, but third says to serve an example of rebus principle and support the idea associating sounds with word would be insufficient. It cannot be fourth. The answer to this question: to represent the unevocalness created because of homophonic words. So homophone means similar sounding words. So we are not comparing two words, two homophonic similar sounding words written side by side. If I say K-N-I-G-H-T, night, a night, died in night, N-I-G-H-T, so that is called homophones, Arushi. So it is to serve an example. That's it. I told you that answer could be either 1 or 3 because this is an example. So homograph is similar in writing. Homophones are similar in sound. So we are talking about actually homophones. You need to understand the graph. The meaning of the word graph is something in return, and written in a way that will create confusion. Here we are talking about, we are converting, first of all, it would be. So it is kind of a sound converted into words. The best would have been sound, wherever you find sound word. As simple as that. It is not homographs we are talking about. And you need to read that paragraph even where it is given that rebus principle was having this flaw that if sound is directly converted into words will create confusion. It would be. Now wood is, you know the meaning of the word wood. Bee, honeybee. Two in knee, fish hunt. Knee is one of the body parts. So again, if I write this same using sound only, so it will create confusion. That's why third. Yes, it is an example of rebus principle. Am I clear, guys? Let's move ahead. I could have answered this question even without reading the passage. Now, very last time, para completion question. Okay, we are running short of time. After this question, I think I'll wind up this session. We left with, I think, one or two questions. I'll just rush through. This is one of the para completion questions. It's about OJ's trial. It is about something based on probability. I'll just read that very important line. OJ was in this trial, he was prosecuted for beating his wife, life partner, etc. The prosecution reasoning was 4 million women are battered, means beaten or harassed annually by the husband and boyfriend in the United States because he murdered, I think, his partner. That's why this case started. I'm just reading the very important lines. 4 million women are battered annually by the husbands and boyfriends in the United States in year 19, yet in 1990, according to FBI Uniform Crime Reports, a total of 1432 or 1 in 2500 were killed by their husband or boyfriends. So this is kind of fallacy of numbers. Actually, 4 million women are battered, 1 in 2500 were killed by their husband or boyfriends. Therefore, defense retorted, few women who slap or beat their domestic partner go on to murder them. True? Yes. Convincing? Yes. Relevant? No. What? So it doesn't mean that one who is beating his partner, his or her partner, would kill that person also, murder that person also. These two are different things. These many women are battered and 1 in 2500 were killed. This is means last line itself is saying that this data is not relevant to prosecute whatever the trial was going on. So pick up the, because we need to hit this prosecution idea of bringing in this data to prosecute O.J. Simpson trial. So pick up the choice where you will find this data being ridiculed and the flaw has been highlighted. Yes guys, pick up the choice where you will find data. The number was third choice. It is third. The relevant number is not the probability that a man who batters his wife will go on kill. Battering is something else, killing is something else, and there is no correlation. It is these two things do not have strong correlation. The one who batters will also kill. So that's what we are supposed to highlight. Okay, para completion question. Either you conclude or extend. This I explained earlier also. What it should not be. It should not be restatement of one of the lines. And it should not be inference drawn on the basis of one of the lines from the passage. That's how. Bhave, you are utilizing your recalling fallacy example. So Dershowitz employed the prosecutor fallacy. Prosecutors were not aware of this fallacy. Actually, we have to find out this, and we have been asked this. Fourth is one of the inferences from one of the lines somewhere in between. I'll show you the line. Dershowitz's reasoning is this, that 4 million women are battered annually by husband, etc., etc. This is the line. The defense attorneys, means the advocates who were supporting OJ, attorney used this strategy as a launchpad for their acquisition of duplicity, means dishonesty, arguing that prosecution has spent 2 weeks in trying to mislead the jury and that the evidence that OJ battered Nicole on previous occasions meant nothing. So from this, he's saying this option. Fourth is inference based on, or kind of restatement based on these few lines from in between. So I told you in the classes also, Babe, that it should not be the restatement or one of the inferences drawn on the basis of one of the lines somewhere in between the passage. That's why fourth. It's not wrong, but it's not complete the story. Either you have to conclude the story or you need to extend the story. In this way, and this particular option question, we have extended the story. Am I clear, Bhavai? People generally get into RC's mindset while solving these particular questions. So the first car world class was Mercedes-Benz. So very simple question. I think if you are a car lover and you know about Mercedes and BMW, one is enjoyed really if a chauffeur or driver is driving, chauffeur driven machine. Another is you want to enjoy driving, drive BMW. So it has given the example also that how come these two even soft drink companies took on each other using opposite strand. So yeah, Bhavai, it was easy question. In 90s, machine. Sitting means you have to sit only in Mercedes and your chauffeur will drive, but you want to drive, then it has to be ultimately driving machine BMW. So I think easy question, very interesting. So this was the last question, guys, I picked up for this analysis. My view or motive behind taking this analysis is to share few tricks, few strategies and few way outs to discuss to make your life easy and to handle to increase your score and to take you near to your dream college, dream salary. So LOD of this section, Bhavai, I would say moderate to tough, because most of the questions were moderate. 28 questions of moderate level, 7 easy. So if I look at the number of attempts also, one should get minimum 21 correct in this. Minimum 21 or 22 correct. So guys, the time has come to wind up this session. See you next time around and all the best for rest of the mocks and ultimate D-Day 29th November. So okay, Vinayak, Bhavai, Arushi and rest of the friends, see you.